Hi guys, Marco here to talk you through matchday 4 from the Champions League this midweek across Tuesday and Wednesday. A collection of great games from all groups really. It's a really great time to be involved in the Champions League now with crucial points up for grabs as we turn for home in the group phase. I've got 3 selections again to share with you across the 2 days. We're going to start in Glasgow on Tuesday night as Celtic host RB Leipzig. Expecting goals in this. I think the first game, there's a lot of expectancy around it being quite an open and expansive and an entertaining affair, and we certainly got it. RB Leipzig quite understandably and fairly getting the result. Really, I thought it might be difficult for Celtic to contain the quartet that Leipzig have in forward areas of Christopher and Nkunku and Andre Silva and Szoboszlai and Timo Werner as well. Celtic obviously fielding a second string centre-back partnership in that match too. Joe Hart didn't help their cause either, but Leipzig were pretty menacing throughout the match and showed what they're capable of on home soil. But there were some fleeting moments for Celtic to get excited about. They managed 8 shots in the penalty box. That was compared to Leipzig's 12 in the same metric. So, if they go back to Parkhead, I think they can absolutely improve on that in a match that really matters for Celtic. They need to win this game to keep their Champions League dreams alive. Obviously weren't totally convincing in their victory against St Johnstone at the weekend, conceding in stoppage time and then requiring a second goal deep into stoppage time to secure that victory. But it's moments like that really can possibly fuel another big performance from Celtic under the lights in the Champions League. It's not long ago they gave Real Madrid plenty of problems before wilting late on in that match, and they possibly deserve something from it. They've got Cameron Carter-Vickers back at centre-half here, which is a big plus, but their issues really have just been struggling to penetrate deep-line defences, and I don't think they'll get that same sort of issue here against Leipzig, who tend to get forward. They don't invite pressure on, they don't sit back, they are a proactive team, and I think the state of play in the group means that they'll be very eager to pick up another 3 points in this game. Leipzig were excellent away at Real Madrid on matchday 2, created bundles of opportunities, deserve something from that game themselves, but defensively too, I think they are vulnerable and fragile away from home as well. Expecting another end-to-end shootout here, plenty of goals. I personally wouldn't touch Leipzig at the prices. They're winless away from home in the Bundesliga and the Champions League this season. They've conceded in every away game, and they're without their captain and goalkeeping star Peter Galashi here as well. Celtic, I think, are capable of getting at least a share of the spoils, but I wouldn't back them at the prices. I just prefer goals here. They're without their captain, Callum McGregor, who's a big influence in midfield. They've kept 1 clean sheet in the last 23 European outings in major competition. I just think goals are the option here. Both teams will look to get forward and score. Over 2 3/4 is trading at -125 with Bet365. That means if there's exactly 3 goals, we get a half stakes winner. If there's 4 goals or more, we get a full stakes winner. You're basically combining over 2.5 goals and over 3.5 goals and getting paid if there's exactly 3 or more. So that's the first game. We'll move on to Wednesday. Napoli against Ajax. I was fairly confident in my pricing last week to put Napoli as a fair shout as an underdog plus half a goal. Didn't expect them to be quite so impressive in Amsterdam against Ajax and rout the Dutch team 6-1, the biggest defeat in European competition for Ajax. Domestically, their form's been off of late. They barely got a sniff against Liverpool at Anfield on matchday 2 as well. I thought it might take time for the changes on and off the field to take to have an impact really for Ajax, but I think fair questions are now being asked of the appointment of Alfred Schreuder as Erik ten Hag's replacement. That's another story, but it wasn't just the manner of the defeat, it was how emphatic it really was. Ajax took the lead last week, were leading 1-0 against Napoli. They went on to concede 26 shots, 20 of which were inside the penalty area. Napoli engineering an expected goals total of over 3.5. Very worthy, convincing winners. What I love about this Napoli team is just their intensity and their relentless pursuit really, I should say, to just continue racking up the goals and continue piling on the misery. Sheer ruthlessness really of Luciano Spalletti's team, who made a couple of changes, not too many at the weekend, still won 4-1 away at newly promoted Cremonense, despite not being anywhere near their best. Zielinski sat out that game or came off the bench. He wasn't fully fit to start. He should come back in here. It's now 8 straight wins for Napoli across all competitions. The first time they've achieved that in their history. And I just think back in Naples, where they demolished Liverpool on matchday 1. I think they're more than capable of doing something not quite so similar, but impressive at least, and continuing that winning streak. If you look at the first 3 games of the group phase so far, Napoli lead in almost all the attacking metrics: expected goals, shots on target, and that's despite being in quite a difficult group on paper. So I'm going to back Napoli to win this game. Ajax need a result. They'll have to come out and play positively. That might play into Napoli's hands. Defensively, Ajax were all over the shop in Amsterdam against the Partner Pie. So I expect Napoli to score a couple of goals here themselves. So Napoli to win and over 1.5 goals. It's -125 if Unibet. That's basically backing Napoli to win by any scoreline that's not 1-0. And we're going to end up with arguably the highlight game of the week, Barcelona against Inter Milan. A week is a long time in football, or 7 days at least. Barcelona were legitimate contenders to win the competition last week. Now they're fighting to stay in the competition after defeat against Inter. And a not so impressive performance on Sunday night against Celtic either, which raised questions. They've looked very one-dimensional, they've looked lacking in penetration, in possession, and they've looked vulnerable to counterattacks and transitions as well. And if it wasn't for goalkeeper Ter Stegen in the second half of Sunday night's game against Celtic, they could quite easily have dropped points there domestically too. So, but the game against Inter last week was very strange, very subdued. Neither team really created any clear-cut opportunities. The total expected goals in that game came in at under 0.7. There were just 12 shots, 5 from Inter, almost all of them from low-risk situations, including the goal. Inter defended deep, didn't allow Barcelona room in behind, and cut off the supply line to Robert Lewandowski, and it worked well for them. Barcelona have to come out now and attack and get back into the group. Anything but a win here will put them in a very, very bad situation. They've got the Clasico to come on the horizon as well, so it's a big week for Barcelona. I do expect improvement though. They are back at Camp Nou, where traditionally they're very strong in European competition. Just 3 defeats in 44 Champions League games here. And I'm going to back them to at least carve out one opportunity for Lewandowski this time around. He was starved of chances in that reverse game. If he does get an opportunity here, I expect him to take it. And I think Barcelona can bounce back and get the victory. Obviously, they're being very heavily favoured by the market, as they were at San Siro last week. Inter still without Brozovic. And, despite the win against Sassuolo at the weekend, where they're able to rest and rotate a fair bit, I still think they're a couple of pegs below Barcelona in the ratings and rankings of this Champions League. What I would say as well, it's worth noting that Barcelona effectively need to win this game by 2 goals or more to steal the head-to-head advantage over Inter Milan. So, it could be attack against defence. If Barcelona score early, it'll be interesting to see how Inter approach this game. A defeat by 1 goal isn't the worst for Inter, especially if they do score in this match. So we'll see how it plays out, but I'm not anticipating a high-scoring shootout here. So I think Barcelona to win and under 4.5 goals and -111 with Betway is a really nice way to play Barcelona. A big increase on the win price, or the 1x2. You got Barcelona 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 2-1 and 3-1 on your side, which I think are a collection of all the correct score favourites on your team here. So expect them to get the job done, fight their way back into contention to qualify and pick up a vital 3 points. So there are your 3 selections. Barcelona to win and under 4.5 goals, -111 with Betway. We've got Napoli to win and over 1.5 goals at -125 with Unibet. And we've got over 2 3/4 goals when Celtic hosts RB Leipzig at -125 with Bet365. Best of luck.